let's say someone in Nigeria needs the Naira. I've got rands. First, I need to convert that. Then I need to use Western Union to transfer it to that person. With that transfer, I'm paying $2, I believe it is. No matter what the amount is, I'm paying $2 just to send it over. Then I'm still having to convert that currency prior to sending it over.
Yeah.
The recipient in Nigeria then incurs fees just to receive that money. And then this entire process is taking over a day.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be covering the pros and cons of traditional banking and what exactly a blockchain is.
100%. I think people have heard blockchain get thrown around.
Yeah.
And it's just another one of those words in crypto jargon that maybe needs a little bit of unpacking. So essentially, the analogy I try to use with a blockchain, right? The banks need to keep account of all the transactions happening on everyone's bank account, right? So they've got ledgers and accounts for this. They've got systems in place to essentially moderate and take note and account for money movements. In cryptocurrency, we have the same thing. We just call it a blockchain. Maybe Timothy can simplify it and explain what it, like an analogy of what a blockchain looks like or what it can be compared to.
So basically what a blockchain is, it's like a encrypted digital ledger for your assets. In other words, it's like having a robot that is your accountant.
100%. So an analogy I would use is like, think of a shared Google document, right? So everyone has access to see this document. It's not private, it's public. So a blockchain is public as well. You can see all of the crypto movements for Bitcoin, all of the crypto movements for Ethereum, every cryptocurrency you can think of. There is a ledger for that cryptocurrency. So a way to think of it, it's like a Google document that everyone can see, but no one can directly impact, or no one can encrypt their own entry into a crypto ledger.
Yeah, like think of like a Word document. Like your manager puts a password in, you can see what's on the Word document, but you can't change what's on it.
Yeah, you can't edit you can't edit the ledger. The only thing that can edit the ledger is the blockchain network. So the blockchain sends info that then gets recorded on the ledger. And that is what a blockchain network is. It's an account of the crypto movements per cryptocurrency, right? Another way I would think of it, right? You look at a coin like USDT, right? Tether, rather. The Tether, to get Tether from wallet A to wallet B, or from place A to place B, it has to move along a blockchain network. There's not only one blockchain network to use, and the way I describe this, the example I like to use, it's almost like trying to get from Muizenberg to the northern suburbs, right? Let's say to Bellville, right? You can take the M5, you can take Jake's Heerwald, you can take the R300, you can take the N1. There are different routes you can take to get from place A to place B. There are different roads you can take. You can take the national road, you can take this, and every road has its pros and cons. Less traffic speed lights on this road, less traffic lights, it's a shorter distance, etc., etc. Same thing with blockchain networks. If I want to send my crypto to Tim, I can send it to him using one of several different blockchain networks, right? And using USDT, the fastest way would be to use the Solana network, which I know we have mentioned with you guys before. But yeah, that's the blockchain. Is there anything else that I missed? Is there something you want to add on?
No, only a question. Why we're speaking so much about blockchains, and for those that don't really know what the need for blockchain is, you're probably asking, why not just use a normal bank? Why not use a traditional bank? And David, would you like to tell them why?
Yeah, so we were chatting about in the previous segment, we were talking about why peer-to-peer is necessary and how it kind of beats the commercial bank, right? So in terms of a place to store wealth, a place to hold your money, Cryptocurrency is better for a number of reasons. There are some pros to the banks, of course, and Timothy and I will get into that. A big con for me are the exorbitant fees, right? So let's say you've got family, and often in Africa, you've got family not only living in South Africa, you'll have family living in Namibia, you'll have family living in Nigeria, you'll have family living all over Africa. Okay, so in situations where you need to get wealth across, let's say from South Africa to Kenya, right? We'd need to use Western Union or Swift Payments or Wise, any one of these different payment systems, all linked to a centralized system. And what this creates is something we call as double fees or double spending, right?
Too much.
So so let's say someone in Nigeria needs the Naira. I've got rands. First, I need to convert that. Then I need to use Western Union to transfer it to that person. With that transfer, I'm paying $2, I believe it is. No matter what the amount is, I'm paying $2 just to send it over. Then I'm still having to convert that currency prior to sending it over. The recipient in Nigeria then incurs fees just to receive that money, and then this entire process is taking over a day. So what happens in emergencies? What happens in the event of someone in your family being sick and needing money urgently, unless your bank account in South Africa is connected to their bank account, right? And even when that is the case, you're still paying these exorbitant fees, which obviously increase with the value that you are trying to send. So fees are it's such a massive
it is a massive
topic.
part.
It doesn't end, especially with regards, I'm just talking about practical uses of getting money, fiat currency.
We're not even covering the journey of the crypto industry when you're first starting off. The amount of fees and financial knowledge you need to have to walk away profitable, it's extremely important.
So
because David can tell you, for example, when I first started out, I actually didn't necessarily know the fees of certain banks and platforms that were charging me. Let's say you have $400, and with all the fees and everything that's being charged, you end up walking away with $350. But you start piling that on top of each other, it starts to become a large gap that you're making compared to the guy that's walking away with $380 after all of those fees. So knowing your fees, different brackets, and everything that's going to charge you really does work the best to make you your own money.
100%. And then just pulling this into P2P and how this affects peer-to-peer. So we look at a country where the exchange is allowed. So like Luno or Valor or Kraken, Coinbase, crypto exchange platforms are allowed in the country, but not fiat deposits, right, of your own currency. I'll just use an example. Angelo will just have to fact check me here, but you can't deposit Naira into your Luno account in Nigeria. Luno is allowed, but banks aren't allowed to essentially work with crypto exchange platforms, right? Meaning that, how are these people? They're allowed Luno, download app, but how are they going to send money there, buy cryptocurrency, do trading on this platform? That's where we come in, right? That's where peer-to-peer comes in. This guy needs to be able to buy on a marketplace and then send to his wallet. So without us, this is essentially how someone would have to do it. They'd have to take their Naira, they'd need to convert that to the dollar, right? So they'd need to take the Naira, they'd need to go buy the dollar, they're incurring a fee. They would then need to take those dollars and deposit it into a bank account that can hold US dollar, right? So there's another fee incurred, and cash deposit fees are crazy, like 2.5% up on the total amount. Okay, just you send 10K, $250, right? That's what they're charging you. Then now you've got these dollars in your bank account. Now you can send it over to Luno, right? Another immediate payment or transfer fee. And this is all, this is just the fees. I'm not even talking about the time that you're waiting in between these movements. So now your money's on Luno, so now you buy cryptocurrency, and now that's another fee, and then you have to send it over to a marketplace, or you need to trade with it, and then there's other fees incurred as well. Peer-to-peer fixes that entire problem with double fees, where it feels like you're paying twice for the same service rendered, right? You're paying for the dollar, and now you're paying for cryptocurrency again. And at the end of all of this, what's the point, right? Now your money is the same as if you were just operating with a bank this entire time. Okay, so those are fees for me. I don't know if there's any fees that I'm missing out on regarding the banks. I'm sure there are. But yeah, this is essentially the gap that we're trying to bridge. We're trying to cut out the bank because the bank's good for a lot of things, right? The bank can get money to someone locally very easily. But when it comes to global transactions and autonomy over your own money, the bank limits you greatly. And the moment you try to deviate from the traditional banking system, fees. And you know, we're all in the business of trying not to be poor or trying to be rich, trying to do better by our family and by ourselves. And to have someone cutting into your hard-earned money, for what? What is the extra services that's being provided that a peer-to-peer system doesn't?
Thanks for joining in, guys. We'd like to see you in the next episode. Please like, subscribe, leave a few comments underneath of any questions you'd like to ask, and we'd like to see you in the Q&A on our TikTok. Please check out our Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, everything. We'd like to see you soon.
Cheers, guys. Bye.